Texas to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Gina McCarthy and David Lutz, representing the Toxic Use Reduction Program. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, and it's really exciting to be here today to talk to you about the Massachusetts Toxic Use Reduction Program. We call it the TUR program. We believe it's arguably the most effective pollution prevention program in the nation. By motivating environmental improvement rather than mandating end-of-pipe discharge limits, and by providing resources rather than dictating solutions. The TUR program challenges the way that government does business and the way that businesses do business, empowering our companies to move beyond simple compliance towards smart environmental management. And in the spirit of David Letterman, today we're going to cut right to the chase and present to you the list of top 5 reasons why we think the Toxic Use Reduction Program deserves this award. From an environmental perspective,
and from a business perspective. The top 5 reasons that the Toxic Use Reduction Program is a real winner. Number 5, the TUR program was the first and it remains the best.
The TUR program was the first state initiative to focus attention and resources on preventing pollution rather than controlling pollution. It shifted environmental thinking from the end of the pipe to the source of the pollution, asking the fundamental question, with all the technology advances and all of our Yankee ingenuity, is all this waste really necessary? And to answer that question, TUR uses public reporting of chemical use and waste data to motivate companies to track their processes and products. And it engages the public by providing data on the web and in local libraries about the chemicals in communities and in our workplaces and in our products.
The TUR program doesn't tell businesses what to do or not do. It just makes companies think. Think about the materials they use and all the costs associated with toxic use, trusting the market to ultimately make the right choice. And TUR provides a comprehensive network of technical service providers, academic educators, and researchers who work hand in hand with businesses to identify and implement sustainable solutions to their environmental challenges.
Number 4, the TUR program has had 9 years of proven success. From 1990 through 97, Massachusetts industries reduced their use of chemicals by more than 201 million pounds. That's 24% reduction. Their waste generation has gone down by 44 million pounds, 41% reduction. And releases in Massachusetts industries have decreased 16.2 million pounds, or 80%. That bests the national average by more than 25 percentage points.
In addition, an independent survey of 645 TUR companies documented more than $97 million in savings through TUR, or $14 million more than they spent. And each year those cost savings grow. Number 3, the TUR program breeds collaboration, not confrontation.
Because the TUR program isn't about environment versus the economy, we've been able to start up community-based projects which combine the energies of local industry and community groups to address issues of common concern. One example, an urban project where manufacturers of hair products are working with local salons to eliminate harmful exposures to move towards non-toxic hair products, improving quality of life one community at a time.
TUR motivates and supports changes in the way businesses manufacture products to promote cleaner and greener industries. For instance, our Cleaner Technologies Initiative seeks out and supports companies in Massachusetts who are willing to open up their doors to their competitors to show the latest advances in technologies and management practices. Industry mentoring, building the economy one business at a time.
Number 2, everyone seems to be stealing our ideas. TUR staff have developed curriculum and trained staff in 6 other states. Countries like Brazil, Hungary, and even Moldova send delegations to Massachusetts to learn about TUR, and with the help of EPA, we go abroad spreading the benefits of toxic use reduction.
TUR has even hit the Fortune 100. At a pollution prevention conference in Europe, one of our agency directors was surprised to hear a representative from AT&T describe a materials accounting method that had been designed by the TUR program. And then they went on to credit TUR as the model they used when designing their own internal environmental program. And the number 1 reason why the TUR program deserves this award, we're not resting on our laurels.
TUR is a great first step in our efforts to prevent pollution, but it's only a first step.
Efforts are now underway in Massachusetts to apply this model to other areas of environmental impact, beyond toxics, to solid waste, water, and energy use. The Toxic Use Reduction Program is a true success, and we plan to build on that success. Thank you.
You offered some impressive numbers in terms of the reductions in certain types of pollutants. I believe you said 80 million pounds in terms of solid waste, and you may want to refer back to the numbers, but I guess my question is, do those numbers represent the totality of the reductions that have occurred in Massachusetts over that time period, or are those the numbers that you are attributing solely to this program?
Boy, you asked the most difficult question first. Let me take a stab at it. The numbers that I gave you represent numbers from the companies that we work with, the companies that have to report under TORA, and the companies that we provide technical assistance to. That's a range of about 500 to 600 companies each year. What I told you was reductions in chemical use, waste generation, and releases to the environment. Now, what is attributed to us versus what would have happened anyways is the significant question. Let me take a very quick shot at it. We asked that question, obviously, because it's central to the discussion of whether it's us or whether this would have happened anyways. The first year of TORA reporting was 1990. We've followed it till 1997. We've looked at the data from those companies. We have seen an average of 5% each year reduction in what we call byproduct, which is waste. So each year, 5%. We looked at the year using the same companies between 87 and 90. We could only document a 1% reduction in each of those years, even though the toxics release inventory at EPA was up and functioning in that period of time. We've also provided technical assistance that we believe has enabled changes in training. We did a survey of our companies to look at behavior patterns to see whether it was us or whether we're just incredibly smart businesses in Massachusetts. It may be a little of both, actually. And behavior changes were significant. Before the Toxic Use Reduction Program, companies did not track the chemicals they used. In fact, many of the companies we work with sell their products for less than the cost of making them. So we've actually been able to document the fact that because they have to report, they have to track, they have to get their business in order, and it's really caused them to look at efficiency issues in a much more aggressive way. So we think we have been spurring that kind of benefit, both environmentally and economically.
Are those reductions off a percentage increase or a growth pattern or
actually what we do
baseline,
is,
or are they off a steady number?
We follow the stable group of companies, and we actually provide an economic factor to adjust for changes in the economy based on the individual production rates that companies give us. So we do not take credit for when the economy goes down. What you're seeing are real numbers that mean that they're producing the same amount of products, using less toxics, generating less waste, releasing less into the environment.
I'm interested in the financing of the program. You tax the businesses that handle these chemicals or manufacture them, and you only tax the larger businesses. You don't tax the small business. This is a state law, I presume.
That's correct.
And the business community has accepted it, apparently, and they're willing to pay that tax.
Let me be very honest with you. I'm from a Republican state. We don't tax, so this is a fee issue. That was just for the benefit of my job. To be honest with you, let me tell you, what created this law will probably give you an idea of why it was okay that businesses thought this was okay. This law came about at a time when there were no hazardous waste treatment and disposal facilities in the state. They were pushing to get more facilities. Nobody wanted one in their backyard. At the same time, we had environmental folks wanting to ban chemicals. The outcome of that was, yes, we'll fund a program like that because it makes sense from us, from our perspective as a business community and the environmental community, to get rid of the waste.
The business community did not oppose the extra tax.
Actually, this act that created this program was passed unanimously by our state legislature.
I have two questions, really. One is, what evidence do you have that of businesses that businesses aren't avoiding setting up in Massachusetts or are leaving Massachusetts because of these restrictions, because of these regulations? And second, really related to that, you said that the program does not tell companies what to do or not to do. In fact, you do seem to tell companies what to do, you just don't tell them how to do it. Maybe you can give me the difference between that and another regulatory, just sort of another regulatory action.
Sure. In answer to your first question, what was your first question?
Losing.
Oh, yeah.
losing,
You know, there was thank you. There was a lot of discussion about whether that would occur. We actually have a non-regulatory branch of the program that works directly with businesses. We've seen no indication that we're causing people to run away because we ask them difficult questions. What in fact we've seen is exactly the opposite. We have companies that have turned their businesses around, that have saved jobs and made money because they've really had the help they need to be able to do their business well. And environmental issues, you know, can't be considered an afterthought in how you do business. You have to internalize those costs and take a look at those issues, and we just simply help them do that. So we think we've saved jobs. We think it's great still to come to Massachusetts with your business. Your second question was?
It had to do with it had to do with regulation.
Oh, yeah, making first, yeah. Let me tell you what, just very quickly, you're absolutely right. We force them to think. That may be a bad thing to do. I don't think it is. We force all the companies to take a look at what they do, but we set no individual goals for companies. You will not be punished if you do not reduce. You will not be punished if you don't get rid of waste. It's up to you.
Hospitals and educational institutions, I just wondered, a percentage of the industries, are you getting the bulk of them, or are there a large group that are left out that need to be included?
David, go ahead.
At this point, they're actually exempt from reporting under the law. They're not part of the law. The toxic use, or the Office of Technical Assistance that does the working with institutions, has done a lot of work with hospitals and some work with universities. And that's one of the areas we're actually looking to expand, at least the technical assistance aspects of the program.
But don't tell them that yet.